mathematicians, I have two objects here. I have my teacher box and I have this mason jar cup. And I was thinking, what are some ways we could measure these two objects? You can say we can measure by, yes, there are lots of ways to measure objects. We could measure how tall they are, the height. We could measure how long they are, the length. We could measure how much they weigh, which one's heavier or lighter. We could even measure capacity. I could fill them both with water and see which one holds more water. I don't want to do that because I don't want to ruin my teacher box, but I could. We could measure by capacity. There are all different ways to measure objects. Now, is the same tool always going to be helpful for measuring different attributes? Can you say the word attribute? Let's say that 5 times. Say it with me. Attribute, 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 attribute. Attributes are things like capacity, height, length, weight. Those are all measurement attributes. Now, we can measure by lots of attributes. We already know that. And we have different tools to measure. So the tool you use to measure height is not going to be the same tool you use to measure weight or capacity. Let's think about that for a minute. What kind of tools could we use to measure height, how tall they are? You can say we can use, maybe we can use a ruler or a cube stick to measure the height. What about the weight? Should we use a cube stick to measure weight? No, the cube stick will tell us how tall it is, how long it is, but not how heavy it is. Could we use the cube stick to measure capacity? I guess we could try and fill it with cubes, but it wouldn't be good as using water, something that fills the whole thing without leaving any empty space. All right, so I put these objects on my carpet. You can see them here. They are propped up because we're going to measure how tall they are. The height, which one is taller? And how have we found taller and shorter before? You can say we use we can use a cube stick. Is a cube stick the only way? No, but a cube stick is a good way for kindergarten. I have my cube stick here. Let's figure out how many cubes tall the glass cup is. Too tall. Oh, that's about the same. How many cubes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The cup is 7 cubes tall. Let's see. The box is this many. See how that's the same? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the cup was 7 cubes tall, and the box is 6 cubes tall. Which one is taller? That's right, the cup is taller because 7 cubes is more than 6 cubes. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then here's 6 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see that the 7 cube train is longer or taller than the 6 cube train. It's bigger, it's more. That makes sense. 7 is more than 6. All right, friends, now we're going to watch a little bit of a video. We're going to look at some vases. Can you say the word vase? Some people also call it a vase, but I say vase. A vase is like a cup you use to hold flowers. We're going to think about how Marta, this girl, can measure the vase.
Marta is looking at this vase. What attributes of the vase could Marta measure?
Let's think about that. What could she measure? You can say Marta can measure. She could measure the height, how tall it is. She could measure the length, how long it is. She could put it on a scale and measure how heavy it is. Or she could pour water into it and try and measure the capacity. How much water could it hold?
She could measure the height, weight, or capacity of the vase. What does it mean to measure the height of the vase? It means to find how tall the vase is. What does it mean to measure the weight of the vase?
Let's think about that. When you find the height, you figure out how tall it is. When you find the weight, you figure out how it is. What's the word that goes there? You can say, when you measure the weight, you figure out how it is.
It means to find how heavy the vase is.
Heavy is the word we were looking for. When you measure the weight, you find out how heavy it is.
What does it mean to measure the capacity of the vase?
Let's think about that. What happens when you measure the capacity? Yeah, you're trying to figure out how much it holds, how much water or juice or milk, whatever liquid you want to put in there.
It means to find how much the vase holds. Marta is thinking about 3 tools she can use to measure the vase. Which tool would Marta use to tell about the height of the vase?
Let's think about these tools. We have a cube stick. What does a cube stick measure? You can say a cube stick measures. Yes, a cube stick measures the height or the length. We use it to find out how long or tall something is. What about the scale? What do we use a scale to measure? You can say we use a scale to That's right, we use a scale to figure out how heavy something is. We use it to find the weight. We can use a scale with 2 sides like this to find which object is heavier and which object is lighter. This is a measuring cup. What do we use a measuring cup for? You can say we use a measuring cup to find. Yes, we use a measuring cup to find capacity. We could fill this with water and see how many measuring cups it takes to fill the vase. How many measuring cups of water we could fit in the vase to get the capacity.
She would use cubes. Which tool would she use to tell about the weight of the vase?
Which tool should she use for the weight?
She would use the balance scale. Which tool would she use to tell about the capacity of the vase?
Which tool should she use to find capacity? You can say Marta should use.
She would use the measuring cup. Which attributes of the vase is Marta thinking about now?
This is tricky. Now what kind of attributes is she thinking about? She was thinking about measurement, but now she's thinking about what? Yeah, what color the vase is, what kind of vase. It's not an iced tea vase, it's a flower vase.
She is thinking about the color of the vase and what the vase could be used for. Can Marta use any of the tools to tell about these attributes?
Let's think about that. Could she use cube sticks or measuring cups or scales to figure out what color it is or what you could use it for? No, silly Marta. Those tools are for measurement.
No, some attributes are not measurable.
Yeah, you can't measure color. You can't measure ideas. You can't measure whether it's for flowers or tea. Those are things we know.
The height and weight of the flowers tell about the flowers and can be described with tools. The color and smell of the flowers are attributes that tell about the flowers but cannot be described using the tools.
Tools can help us find out some things about an object, but not everything.
Did you hear what Marta had to say there? Tools can help us with some attributes, measurement attributes, like how tall something is, how long something is, how heavy, or the capacity. But it can't tell us everything. For example, what if we measured me? We can measure how tall Miss Minion is. We can measure how long Miss Minion is. We can measure how heavy she is. We could drain out all my blood and fill me with water and see my capacity. But can we measure how nice Miss Minion is? No. Can we measure what color hair Miss Minion has? Can we use cubes to figure out what color her hair is? No. That we have to use our eyes. Can we use tools to measure how Miss Minion smells? Or what she sounds like? No. So we can't use measurement tools for everything. For your homework today, I'm going to give you some problems, some objects, and you're going to have to decide what tools we could use to measure. I'll give you an example to start. Here is your math homework. Esta es tu tarea de matemáticas. Look at the pictures and think about which tool, cube stick, measuring cup, or scale, we should use to measure the object to find the attribute I am looking for: height, length, weight, or capacity. I will do the first one with you so you understand what to do. Mire las imágenes y piense en qué herramienta, palo de cubo, taza medidora o escala deberíamos usar para medir el objeto para encontrar el atributo que estoy buscando: altura, longitud, peso o capacidad. Haré el primero contigo para que entiendas qué hacer. I'll do the first one with you. We have 2 buckets of paint, a purple bucket and a green bucket. What if I want to measure the capacity? What tool should I use? Yes, I should use the measuring cup. That will help me find the capacity, how much water or paint each bucket holds. Now, what if I wanted to tell about the color? Color is also an attribute. Can I measure color with any of these tools? No, you can't measure color. You can only tell about color with your eyes. None of these tools will help you tell about the color. Ready to do it without me? Look at these 2 objects. I want to measure the height. What tool can you use to figure out which one is taller? The cube stick, the scale, or the measuring cup? You can say, I will use the to find the height. Pause while you think about it. Press play when you're ready to check your work. Ready to check your work? That's right, the cube stick is what we would use to find the height. Now, what if I wanted to find the capacity? If I wanted to figure out which one has more capacity, holds more water, which tool should I use? You can say, I would use the to find the capacity. Press pause while you think about it. Press play when you're ready for the answer. That's right, we would use a measuring cup to measure the capacity. We would use it to figure out how many cups of water could fit in each one. Now, what if I wanted to measure the weight? What if I wanted to see which one's heavier and which one's lighter? Which tool should I use? Ready to check your work? That's right, the scale will tell us which one is heavier and which one is lighter. Now look at this picture. Which one is longer? What tool can I use to figure out which one is longer? Yes, cube sticks would help us figure out which one is longer. If these were real-life cars and fire trucks, we would need a really long cube stick.